Alright guys, now there is reports coming out of Manchester United that there is like a massive rift in the squad and players are basically turning against each other, mainly Cristiano Ronaldo, aka probably the most famous footballer of all time, and Harry Maguire, slabhead. Um, can you imagine saying that a few years ago? Like the two titans at Man United, Cristiano Ronaldo versus Leicester City's finest, Harry Maguire. Um, don't get me wrong, Harry Maguire has been absolutely shocking this season. Ronaldo's not been great, but at the same time, he's 37 years old and he's not the player he used to be. But that is to be expected because of his age, and also the fact that he isn't a player that is suited to playing Premier League football anymore. Like playing for Juventus suited him because they had a direct way of playing. It was all about get the ball to Ronaldo in the 6 yard box so he can score. Nothing wrong with that. That's not a dig at Ronaldo. That's just the way it is. Whereas in the Premier League, it's hard to play that style of football and succeed. Now, Harry Maguire last season had a decent season, had a really good Euros in the summer, and it was looking all right for him in the summer. He had a bit of a shaky start to last season, but it definitely got a lot better as the season went on. However, this season has just been completely shocking. Now, my thoughts on the apparent fallout between Harry Maguire and Ronaldo are that I think it's not great on Ronaldo's part because you can't leave a club and then rejoin 12 years later and expect to be top dog in the dressing room, if that makes sense. Like, you fall down the pecking order, especially in 12 years. If it was maybe 1 or 2 years away, then you can come back and maybe expect to still be a big voice in the dressing room. But you sort of fall down as the years go by because you're no longer a player for that team or part of the team for that matter. You're part of Real Madrid and Juventus. So it's not great from him. However, Harry Maguire, I do think should maybe just keep his mouth shut at times, and also, gives some respect to someone who is the greatest or one of the greatest footballers of all time. In my opinion, the greatest is Lionel Messi, but Ronaldo is definitely a close second. Yes, but it just Maguire just doesn't come across well in any way in recent times. But so the real question is, how does Ralf Rangnick deal with this? Because United have got a big job on their hands to get into the top four for next season. That's what this season's become, not to win a trophy, because the only trophy they're left in is the Champions League, where they play Atletico Madrid, which is going to be an incredibly tough game next week. And that they're out of the League Cup, they're out of the FA Cup, and there's no way they're winning the Premier League. No shit. And it's looking a bit unlikely now that they might get it's looking unlikely that they will get top four. So should Rangnick first of all strip Maguire of the captaincy? I don't think I'd go that far just yet, unless he feels it is really impacting the dressing room. And the other question is, should he be giving it to Ronaldo? Absolutely not, because Ronaldo isn't going to be there in 2 years' time. Let's be honest, that's a fact. Like, if anything, Ronaldo could be gone in the summer if some reports are to be believed. It's PSG apparently, which I would love to see, because I wish it had happened 10 years earlier. But Messi and Ronaldo in the same team, that is just well, every person my age when they were 10 years old. That is their dream to see. But yeah, but if he is to get rid of Maguire and give someone else the captaincy, because first of all, you want your captain on the pitch, and right now Harry Maguire's performances are not good enough to get him a place in the starting 11. I don't think. I think Rafael Varane hasn't set the world alight at Old Trafford so far in his Man United career, but he hasn't been terrible at the same time. He's generally been all right. He hasn't been as good as some United fans thought he would be, but he's been all right. And alongside him, you've also got Victor Lindelof, who I don't think's that bad. He's not a world-class defender, but he's playing better than Harry Maguire, and also that would mean Varane plays in his more suited position of the left centre-back role rather than on the right, because that's where he's played all these years for France and Real Madrid. And also Lindelof always plays on the right side, whereas Maguire likes to play on the left, which means Rafael Varane gets pushed slightly out of position onto his less favoured side. So if you are getting rid of Maguire, if you are stripping him off the captaincy, who do you give it to? I think personally, it depends on how long you want to keep David De Gea for. It depends. I'd probably go with Bruno Fernandes, to be honest, because I think he's having a better season than a lot of people make him out to. Don't get me wrong. He's not had as good a season as previous couple of seasons for United, but he's not been horrendous, and every player's entitled to go through a bad patch. That's just what happens in a footballer's career. So I'd probably give it to him, because, I mean, he's at the peak of his powers right now. He's still got a lot of time, you would have thought, left in his Man United career, so I'd probably give it to him, if anybody. Because Maguire, without a doubt now, has been Man United's worst signing in their history for 80 million. At least with Paul Pogba, you've got something out of him. You've had moments, like I remember when Solskjaer first joined the club, Pogba for a few months had a really good string of performances. I remember last season under Solskjaer, towards the end of it, Pogba had some really good match-winning performances and scored some brilliant goals. Particularly, I remember he scored one away at Burnley and away at Fulham as well. He's had moments like in the Manchester derby in April 2018 when he scored two-headed goals to help Man United win the game and prevent Man City from lifting the title right in front of them. So he's definitely had his moments. Whereas Maguire, you've got nothing. You've got a few good defensive performances, a decent campaign last year, but nothing to suggest that there is £80 million worthy, if you know what I mean. But yeah, it's difficult to say at this point. But I think in the long term, Maguire's captaincy is probably going to go, would be my thoughts. And also I think Ronaldo is not going to be there in 18 months' time. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.